either younger than us or, passed and retired. So why not? I want to challenge myself. The best always looking to fight the best and challenge themselves, and why not, challenge.
Terence Crawford can't beat him, right? This is a money grab for Terence Crawford. It's just a situation where Terence Crawford is trying to fill up his bank account opposed to actually his legacy.
But if you study Floyd closely, like I have, you will notice that he never wastes any steps while he's in the ring.
During a live interview with Stephen A. Smith, claims surfaced that Terence Crawford supports Floyd Mayweather's proposed bout. Crawford stated that his approach to boxing has always been to push himself into uncomfortable area and accept the most difficult challenges possible. He emphasized that exceptional boxers should not avoid one another, arguing that genuine brilliance is demonstrated when the top names encounter. Crawford spoke with serene conviction, framing a prospective fight with Mayweather as yet another opportunity to elevate his career and defy the limitations placed on him.
It's the businessman talking, right? They got to pay the cheddar to make it better, right?
For sure. All money ain't good money, so you got to know that.
Okay, fair enough. I hate to use the word easy, but at times it did feel like you were, having a really easy time out there. Were you expecting it to play out that way?
Listen, it's never easy,
Stephen A. Smith has never been hesitant about expressing strong ideas in sports media, and his attitude on boxing follows suit. So when he freely congratulates Terence Crawford on winning world titles in 4 different weight divisions, it has actual weight rather than seeming like regular flattery. Achieving that kind of success in the modern boxing world is incredibly rare, especially given how many fighters avoid moving divisions due to the hazards and uncertainty involved. Crawford stands out from his rivals because of his ability to gain weight while maintaining control over opponents at each level. According to Stephen A., Crawford's combination of range and dominance solidifies his place among the top pound-for-pound superstars. It shows far more than physical flexibility. It demonstrates his honed skill set, smart ring intelligence, steadfast perspective, an unending desire to test himself against the most difficult obstacles possible.
He's the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab. He used his distance. He had poise in the ring. He wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept his difference. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant match.
Roy Jones Jr., a true icon who knows better than most what it takes to thrive in several weight classes, has openly acknowledged Terence Crawford's ring intellect. Jones reflected on Crawford's performance against Canelo Alvarez, noting that Crawford shown a rare ability to draw inspiration from the styles of Floyd Mayweather and Erislandy Lara, 2 fighters who challenged Canelo in very different ways. Crawford's strength, according to Jones, is his ability to assess opponents, learn from previous battles, and then put those thoughts into action when it means the most. That level of awareness, he claims, puts Crawford above just athletic prowess and distinguishes him as a true thinker in the ring. Jones noticed that Crawford did not simply imitate those techniques, but rather altered them to meet his own timing and instincts, making them much more hazardous in live exchanges. Jones feels that Crawford's flexibility distinguishes him from boxers who rely on a single method and frequently falter when faced with the greatest level of competition.
People like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me. It's just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, Late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. You know, Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He got
hit with some single shots going out. You know, he's going out and you know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it. Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie. And sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
The idea of Terence Crawford sharing the ring with Floyd Mayweather, even in an exhibition scenario, has sparked passionate debate throughout the boxing world. Some naysayers believe that a contest like this will raise issues about Crawford's long-term legacy. From their perspective, getting into a spectacle-driven bout may detract from the historic milestones he has already accomplished, such as his overpowering performance against Errol Spence and masterclass performance against Canelo. They say that the move could be perceived as seeking a large payment rather than continuing to pursue legacy-defining tasks. That issue is fueled by Mayweather's latest appearances, which have centered on wealthy showcases rather than traditional career-defining battles. Many commentators believe Crawford has put in too much effort and sacrificed too much to risk being perceived as someone who prioritizes money over brilliance. However, there is another side to the argument. Supporters believe Crawford's position in boxing history is already secure, and a fight with Mayweather would only add a riveting and unforgettable chapter to an already extraordinary career.
Still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say their accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. It's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud in my.
When Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford's careers are compared, it rapidly becomes a deep and frequently divisive topic. Mayweather's record includes victories over some of the sport's most well-known legends. However, adversaries frequently dispute the circumstances of their victories. They point out that Canelo Alvarez was still in his early stages of development when he teamed up with Floyd, and Manny Pacquiao entered their highly anticipated 2015 clash despite suffering with physical concerns. Mayweather's habit to dodge rematches, particularly a second fight with Pacquiao, has fueled criticism and left many fans with unanswered questions. Crawford's case is frequently framed differently. His most dominant performances have come against opponents who were widely thought to be nearing the pinnacle of their careers when they played him. That discrepancy has fueled heated discussion over whether Mayweather's perfect record reflects sheer in-ring dominance or a career defined equally by smart timing and selective matchmaking.
They're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work hard. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. there was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter. But by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece.
Tony Jeff, a well-known boxing analyst, has stated that Floyd Mayweather's greatest deadly asset extended far beyond quick hands and superb defense. Jeff believed that Floyd's mentality was what genuinely distinguished him from everyone else. Mayweather had a firm belief that no opponent could outthink or outmaneuver him, and that belief was evident every time he stepped into the ring. Even in seemingly competitive fights, Floyd's faith on his superior ring intelligence consistently tipped the scales in his favor. He possessed an unrivaled capacity to analyze opponents in real time, make quick adjustments, and remain poised under duress. Rather than relying solely on athleticism, Mayweather blended mental acuity and technical proficiency, giving the impression that he was constantly one step ahead. Jeff highlights that Floyd's psychological dominance, along with immaculate execution, made him appear practically unstoppable and eventually allowed him to retire from the sport with a spotless record.
Not me, but shocked the world. This past Saturday, Mexican Independence Day weekend, what he took on and defeated another first ballot Hall of Famer, but he essentially jumped up 3 weight classes, technically 2, from 154 to 168, but only had 1 fight at 154 last August against Israel Majimov. Terence Crawford defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, and the reigning, at the time, super middleweight world champion, undisputed world champion. And Terence Crawford beat him handily and convincingly. And because he beat him so easily, now the 63 win, 3 loss, 2 draw, 39 win by way of knockout, biggest threat has been now imposed on Terence Bud Crawford. And that's the Mexican Ecuadorian monster, David Benavidez, who is a 2-division undefeated world champion, is the 2-time WBC super middleweight and reigning WBC light heavyweight, 175-pound champion, who has a record of 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout. He stands 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. This is a fight that David Benavidez has been calling for Canelo Alvarez when he was at 168, and Canelo Alvarez strategically maneuvered around him. But Canelo Alvarez is 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, started his career at 147 pounds, made his real name at 154 pounds. He's not a big guy, okay? And styles make fights. Benavidez is 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. His last fight at 168 against Demetrius Andrade, he rehydrated to 193. So he's a big guy. Canelo Alvarez probably rehydrate to 182, maybe 185 max, right? He's not a big guy, right?
The boxing world never ceased looking for exciting matchups. Terence Crawford is rumored to face David Benavidez in one of the most anticipated fights. Benavidez would bring distinct physical advantages, as well as heavy power and constant pressure, making for a risky and new test. Many supporters believe this is the type of bet that will push Crawford into uncharted area and truly test his talent. Even without an official confirmation, speculations and disputes continue to spread. More than anything, the discussion represents what supporters want the most. Instead of money-driven exhibition events, engage in bold, career-defining confrontations. A Crawford-Benavidez fight would pit delicacy against force, intelligence against intensity, and that contrast alone makes it a dream scenario for boxing aficionados.
Goodness, I said that was going to happen. If Crawford was to win, we're going to be seeing a lot of these debates on whether or not Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford is going to be better. Now, this is going to be a debate for a long, long time. I'm talking about one of those debates like LeBron versus MJ, Messi versus Ronaldo. It's one of those. And the thing is, let me go ahead and say this. When it comes to resume, I do think we give Floyd Mayweather the edge. I mean, he beat a bunch of champions. He reigned for a long time. While Crawford, his resume is heavily criticized, and he's just not getting, his kind of respect for beating Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But if we're talking strictly off of skills, this is where things get really, really tough to talk about. I think a fair assessment of this matchup would be Floyd Mayweather wins from 135 and 140, while Crawford wins from 147 to 154. And I say that because I feel like Floyd's style changed once he got to welterweight. He became a more defensive fighter, and he just wasn't as much focused on offense. And knowing this, I feel like Crawford would have had a much better chance of handling him. And we all know, Crawford was an absolute monster at welterweight. But hey, man, like I said, this is going to be a debate for a very long time. I can't wait to hear all the talk about it. But I'm curious on your thoughts. Who do you think wins in the fight? Floyd or Terence Crawford? Let's talk about it and follow me for more boxing.
Putting Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford side by side sparks a debate that rarely yields a solid answer. Each man faced outstanding opponents from his own era and repeatedly emerged as the superior combatant. Mayweather's undefeated record and unrivaled defense abilities defined his era, while Crawford's performance in rising divisions and continuing to outperform top challengers is equally impressive. Deciding the dispute is difficult because of the stark differences in their timelines, opponents, and situations. Because of this disparity, a direct comparison may never be entirely fair or complete. Finally, rather than picking one over the other, it is more appropriate to realize that both boxers represent the pinnacle of boxing greatness.
Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Right. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit. Gotta make sense. Like you said, you beat the shark, I mean, you beat the wolf. Yeah. But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me, it don't make sense. But that's
really
what
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend.
Chillin'.
But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, get a line of suits. Your line of suits, get your money, man. Go away and get the easy money, man. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up, boy?
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat. He's paved the career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, we ain't.
Greg Hackett's reaction to Crawford's victory over Canelo reveals the greater significance of the situation. By referring to Canelo as the premier force in boxing, Hackett emphasizes Canelo's dominance and terrifying presence for well over a decade. That notoriety amplified the outcome. Crawford did not merely enter the ring with him. He took charge and broke him down, signifying a significant shift in the balance of power. According to Hackett, Crawford's performance established him as the sport's new top threat. Others must now prepare and be afraid of the warrior, the person who holds the top position in boxing now. This victory was more than just another success on a long list. It changed the sport's hierarchy, positioning Crawford as the man who deposed the longtime monarch and emerged as the hunter in his stead.
Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf.
Right.
Man, like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense.
That's
like you said, you beat a shark, and then you beat a wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense. But that's
really
what
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend.
Sure, man.
But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Your line of suits, get your money, man. Go ahead and get the easy money, man. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up, boy?
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat.
What's happening?
He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious.
Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez was a watershed moment in his career, putting to rest any concerns about his greatness. Even before that, his crushing victory over Errol Spence silenced many naysayers who questioned the quality of his opponents. Crawford dominated the Spence fight from start to finish, leaving no space for debate. However, it was Crawford's complete demolition of Canelo, a boxer who had long been considered practically impenetrable, that cemented his legacy. Today, commentators universally agree that these victories solidify his place among boxing's all-time greats. His ability to dominate top-tier champions in numerous weight classes demonstrates his competence, adaptability, and dominance in the sport.
Was enough action, and I think Crawford displayed his skill enough, even to someone with not the most trained eye, that they know they saw a very high-level athlete perform something at a very high level last night. I think he gained the sports world's attention last night and respect. He already did after Spence, but it went to another level in this fight.
And I think even the fight itself, like just from a median level, but then the moments where they were having these exchanges, like kind of late in the fight, then people were like, all right, it was good. Then like, okay. I saw somebody like, they're squabbing. Like, this is a fight here. So I think it did.
And Crawford closed the show.
Yeah.
In 10, 11, 12, he stood in there and landed some hard shots and rocked Canelo at the bell. He didn't. James is talking about the great Floyd Mayweather. Floyd would go up on you 8-0 and then coast, and you might as well turn the fight off at midway through the ninth. Like, you know, he's not going to. But
that concludes today's video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next.